Great use of white space.
And then, absolutely. The terrible thing though is you get these reviews. You put them up on Amazon for sale, and you start blank book. This is blank book, and you say blank book as many times as you can in the strict description.
Yeah.
Then, just to make sure, you put up your own review, which normally you don't do,
Right.
and you give it a good rating, and you say, "This is really good." If you understand that it's a blank book, and then you repeat blank book in the review 4 or 5 more times. And then invariably, the first review that comes up from someone else is, "What a ripoff! This doesn't have any stuff in it." Yeah, I'm really impressed that you like my art. But you're supposed to buy books because of what the book's about. That brings me to publishing these books. One of the things that I can do under new media is I've started my own small publishing company, Walkabout Publishing. And that means I get to publish stuff by people I really like, which, you know, I'm obviously one of them, but it includes me as well. So I've done a collection by Gene Raby and Bob Fardeman, Ed Redeker, Henderson. We've got a new book coming up and stuff by Meg Stackpole and Tim Wagner and that kind of stuff. But as I said, that's also a venue for my stuff that is maybe a little less commercial. And one of the things that's less commercial now is that people do not, it's really hard to get publishing houses interested in collections of short stories. So I have a whole bunch of short stories that I've done, and no one would want to put them out as a book, but I can do it myself.
In the post-Paul Page.
In the post-Paul Page. And I can do it now, and I can have them printed. They can be online, they can be in PDF, they can be in Kindle. Kindle and online publishing. I've recently started doing this. These are like a long list here of people in Stalking the Wild Hare, which is available for the first time here today, and is going to be generally released at Gen Con by a lot of these other authors. So if you're not going to get a Gen Con, where you're going to see a whole bunch of people, today would be a wonderful day to stop and pick it up. In some sense, I'm kind of a traditional writer. I like sword and sorcery. I like Robert E. Howard. You know, I'm action and adventure, and hopefully rollicking good fun. These are a couple of stories that I'm working on now that I'm bringing to the final stages. And once they're done, they'll be up on Kindle, and at some point probably in printed form as well. So, don't miss a minute of the excitement. Sign up for my free newsletter. There's a thing over there that I forgot to get out that actually allow you to drop in a business card or sign up. And we've got free newsletter, free wallpapers on my site. So plenty of stuff for you to see and do and interact. And I'm pretty good about returning emails. And again, walkaboutpublishing.com and StephenDSullivan.com. But that is it. Thank you all very much. The first PowerPoint.
You did really well. If you want, next to or below you, StephenDSullivan.com, you could write PaulMcComas.com because that's
a really good idea.
my website, and then you'll have the best of both worlds.
And while he talks, I'm going to get this thing out.
Thanks.
Would you come around too, Steve, so I don't forget?
Oh.
You have a sign up here?
No, oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about your kids.
Oh,
We'll get them
yeah,
after. We'll remind each other.
All right.
Best of both worlds because his interest is primarily in action-based fantasy, and mine is primarily in dystopian speculative fiction. Dystopian?
No, I'm not comics.
Oh, yeah, and it's in your flyer too for the fest. But
You have a whiteboard behind you.
Thank you. What a clever idea.
I can really put it next to his name. And bigger.
Good luck.
I'm trying.
Someone do the zoom on that projector, please.
McComas, like Thomas.com.
Okay. Is that meant to be an L, Paul?
That is supposed to be an L. And in an alternative parallel universe, it is.
It could be a 1 though.
It could.
Don't write
It's
1.
not a 1.
Just because I
Paul.
Boy.
And Stephen, you do an even better job with the crass self-promotion than I did. That was really...
Thank you. I should mention I did a lot of that art too. I was raised as an artist, so.
And frankly, the crass self-promotion is a huge part of the author's life. You know, no one's going to push it harder than you, including an agent, including your business rep if you get one.
Shameless self-promotion.
Shameless self-promotion. That's right.
That's where it's at.
Shameless and
It
craft.
used to be as an author, you could just kind of sit in your room and type and then send things off. But now you do that and they're like, okay, what's your promotion plan for this story?
That's right.
No,
Yeah. What's your platform?
What's your,
You hear
yeah,
that
that's
a
my
lot.
favorite word.
Yeah.
I like that.
Steve, your literary credentials dwarf mine. I have 5 books published, 3 that I wrote, 2 anthologies that I've edited. I will crow a little and say that Planet of the Dates has been optioned in Hollywood. I've seen a screenplay. They didn't invite me to participate.
As long as they gave you the money, I
But
think that's probably good.
they showed it to me like that. Actually, they let me read it, and it is one of the most faithful screen adaptations I've ever heard of. 85 to 90% of my dialogue and scenes are in there, although, of course, in taking a full-length hardcover novel and turning it into a 2-hour or less screenplay, they've cut a lot. But for the most part, been judicious in that. So, as I was saying, you know, we have both the fantasy slash action and the dystopian covered here. I've always been fascinated with dystopias, and have ended up creating a course about them, which I taught in National Louis, from which this panel takes its name, The Road's Not Yet Taken. During a panel at Capricorn this past winter on dystopias, I think these are the prophetic voices of our day and age. These are the Jeremiads. These are the warnings. And they're not coming from soothsayers. They're coming from authors. When I was growing up, Logan's Run captured my imagination. It seemed to be an extrapolation of the increasing focus on youth culture. Well, what happens if there's only youths? And what Nolan says in the book is, and essentially you end up without a culture. Just hedonism and flash and zing. Planet of the Apes is a classic dystopian tale that has within it the dramatic reversal or dramatic turnabout that you find in so many dystopias, where things have been switched, in this case the place of apes relative to humans. Speculative fiction isn't necessarily science fiction. Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, one of my favorites, is speculative. It's a feminist speculative fiction novel, but the science is not even secondary, it's thirdary. Kazuo Ishiguro's book, Never Let Me Go. I like to talk to people at sci-fi conventions about that book because generally they don't know it. Ishiguro wrote Remains of the Day. He's one of our great contemporary literary fiction authors. And he wrote a devastating speculative fiction dystopian book. Margaret Atwood, who wrote The Handmaid's Tale, primarily is not a dystopian author, though she's written a couple of others, most recently The Year of the Flood. And one more I put in that company is P.D. James, very famous female author from England, who wrote Children of Men. And maybe this is my prejudice as a primarily mainstream / literary author dabbling here and there in genre. But I often find that the particularly well executed and compelling genre books, and especially in the dystopian or speculative fic subgenres, are written by non-genre authors. Because I think that it is important that the story work as a story and the characters function as compelling characters before you can go adding the genre elements. This is a fake headline from The Onion that I turned into a refrigerator magnet. Science fiction novel posits future where characters are hastily sketched. Present company.
Very nice. I like it.
Present company accepted. You will see a lot of hastily sketched characters in some fantasy, sci-fi, spec fiction, etc. And I think that's a real shame because to me, what matters when I'm reading more than anything else is characterization, and that I know these people, and that I either love or hate these people, and that I want to be with them. I'll just leave it there for now.